going on, you bunch of heretics, and welcome to Heresy is My Therapy. As you can see, we are at the Outpost here in Sheffield for their grand reopening. Today I'm also coming down here to do the 1 hour painting competition, which will be quite interesting. I've bought my dual wielding chainsword Space Wolf, but today I'm kind of like, as we're on the hunt for the best sort of hobby hangout places across the UK, and coming here on initial thoughts, do you know what? It starts to beg a question. Is this what Games Workshop should be, as opposed to kind of pleasing the shareholder world and just churning out bits and pieces and trying to make profits? So far I'm here at the Outpost, and there's loads of different gaming systems, a great shop, gaming spaces, painting areas, coffee to have, great coffee by the way. So yeah, trying to find some awesome hobby hangout spaces, and it's part of this 2025 journey. I'm here at the Outpost. We're gonna have a little bit of a look around. We're gonna catch up with manager Dan, who's been managing this place and how he feels about the new grand reopening, and just looking more about the store, what it is, why you should come down here, and of course answer the question, Games Workshop, what are you doing? You need to start keeping up with places like this, because this is what the community loves, and you can already tell that this is what the community loves. Gaming systems, coffee, painting time, catching up with people in the community, it's just great. So yes, the hunt for the awesome hobby hangouts across the UK begins here at the Outpost here in Sheffield. Right, yes, so obviously we've been inside, done the intro bit. Now let's give you a bit of a tour around the Outpost. You've probably seen on some of the B-reel, some of the areas, so we're gonna have a bit of a detailed tour around the shop. So follow me as we go on in and have a bit of a mooch around the store itself. We'll get on with the painting competition, and of course we'll catch up with Dan, the store manager as well. Right, come on, let's go inside. Right, entrance in as we walk on in. Whoa, and there it is. Lovely, stocked up, all different ranges. You've got Army Painter, you've got Turbo Dork, you've got Colour Forge, and of course this is a completely and utterly stocked up store. Colour Forge, Green Stuff World, Shatterpoint Star Wars, what's on over here? Oh yeah, Crisis Protocol. Obviously all your Games Workshop needs all over here as well. Lots of other different gaming systems on here. Oh, is that a Cursed City as well, I see? Nice. Again, you've got all your different paints, more paints, the Army Painters paints, and then we go into the great big kind of like gaming hall itself, where there are just tables absolutely everywhere. Gaming table here, gaming table there, gaming tables for you, and everyone is playing like a myriad of different gaming systems. We've got card games over here, we've got MESBG getting played over here, where there's like Eagles and all sorts going on. We've got Age of Sigma, we've got 40k going on. Over at the back we have got Horus Heresy going on over there, but there are just absolutely loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of gaming tables with people playing games as well. Over in the corner over here, again, look at all this space and how many people we've got. We've got Star Wars Shatterpoint going on, guys are playing Kill Team at the back, and we have also got guys playing card games. You can rent, or you can, play games for free, and you've got a retreat, which is a nice little quiet space, which is where you've seen me do the intro, and we'll be catching up with Dan in a little bit. Of course, we've got the guys here that are serving coffee, so there's plenty to get, places to get some food, just some snacks, some coffee, reasonably priced coffee as well. I think it's £2 for an Americano, which I love. So yeah, you can't really argue with that. But that's everywhere inside the store. So yes, I have to say, very much so. It's a great place to kind of come down. Shop's really well stocked out. There's loads of places to kind of sit down, play, game. But I think now it's time for me to go and do my 1 hour painting competition. Oh God, should be all right. Right, so as part of the Outpost's opening day, they're doing a 1 hour painting competition. I've got my miniature here, my dual wielding chainsword Space Wolf. I've got paints and my brushes, my 1 hour timer at the ready, and yeah, let's just see what happens. 30 minutes, sorry, not 30 minutes, an hour done. There he is. I'll get you some better beer, all of that in just a second, but yeah, 1 hour done. Hopefully it's all right. Well, I've never known pressure like it in my life, but it's been really good to kind of sit here, paint within the hour, all done, blitz through. After a while of doing the contrast painting, I guess it's finally paid off, but we shall see with my dual-wielding chainsaw Space Wolf. So, yeah, all done. Yeah, so here he is, all kind of done. Not the usual view that we're used to, as you can see. All my paint's kind of everywhere. Yeah, so yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I think I might just touch the base up just quickly, just as a bit of presentation, but otherwise, as it is, that's how it's going in. Job's a fish. Okay, right, so sat down with Dan, the manager here at the Outpost. First of all, this is awesome. You know, as I know we spoke earlier, you know, off camera about what you've built here. But before we kind of go into that, tell us about who you are, what is what you love about the community, and kind of where you started.
Yeah, cool. So I'm Dan. I'm the operations manager for the Outpost. I've been in the hobby for about 18 years now, with one thing and another. Started out in 40k back in the day, like 3rd edition, I think it was. So been around the houses a bit. So yeah, the Outpost started life in like 2013, I think it was, as a small shop in Furnival Gate in the city centre, which was Chris, the owner, and a couple of his mates wanted somewhere for their mates to play, and then Chris went, well, why don't I merge my eBay business with it and turn it into a shop? So that started out as like an upstairs little gaming hall, and then shop downstairs. It was really cool, really like niche and close-knit. It was really good community. So I started shopping there when I was about 12, so it's really weird being the manager now. It's pretty. I still walk in sometimes and go, I work here. That's really, really odd. So yeah, it's been great. So
and what a cool job, by the way.
Yeah,
you know,
it is wicked. What? Yeah, it's awesome. I get to come to work every day and be surrounded by the thing that I want to spend all my time doing. So
yeah,
I do really enjoy it. Yeah, so for me, the first thing that struck me about the Outpost when I was a customer was like the community there. So yeah. I had a couple of mates who I played 40k with, and going in, everyone was really friendly, and everyone was like, oh, what are you playing? Oh, you've got this, that's cool conversion, and all the rest of it. And there's people that I made friends with there who are here today at the launch as punters still. And there's just the bonds that you make through the hobby is some of the closest mates I've met through playing Toy Soldiers, and like Chris says the same, like his best man at his wedding is somebody he met playing War Machine back in the day.
Oh, man.
So
yeah,
the bonds that you make go like way back. So there's that. It's been through a couple of different locations. Moved around in the town centre a couple of times. Then we were in Neepsend in Kelham Island for quite a while, about 8 years. And we closed the gaming centre there because of COVID, which was a bit of a touch and go time.
Of course.
And then post-COVID, we had a big boom in gamers. So I took over about 2 years ago as the manager, and we've gone from sort of strength to strength, rebuilding the community. And that's sort of been our core tenet for like the longest time, has been community and the focus on gamers and gaming rather than retail, or rather than, you know, just marketing and selling. It's been about giving people a space where everyone's welcome. It doesn't matter your background or ethnicity, gender, sexuality, everything. Everybody's always welcome here, and that's been a really like core thing for us to keep going forward. And that's what's inspired the way we run the business and the way we operate, basically. So we just want everyone to feel like they can walk in. Doesn't matter if they've had a terrible day at work, if they've got family troubles. Like, we feel like therapists sometimes as much as it is anything else. Like, it's a place to get away from it all, which is really, really nice. And it's really nice to see so many people here. Like, we were opening the doors and we had like 60, 70 people outside, like waiting to get in.
Well, I mean, like I say there, like it's been like non-stop all day. Right? When I came in, I think I got about 10:30, 11:15, and it's been full. And we're now at about 1:30, and it's still like it still seems just as busy. And I think, like you said there, you've made a community here, which is amazing. And like you said, like, it is about the community, it's about the people. You know, it doesn't matter like your background. If you're into the hobby, you're into the hobby.
That's it. You know? It used to be this really like taboo thing where it was like the sort of, it was like Fight Club where unless you knew that the other person knew, you didn't talk about it. But it's now going really mainstream with even like Henry Cavill and the Warhammer TV series and stuff like that. It's getting a lot more traction and a lot more. So I used to say to people, they're like, what do you do? It's like, I work in retail. Whereas now people are like, what do you do? Like, I'll run a Warhammer shop. Like, I know Warhammer. So it's getting this really big sort of community awareness just in like normies sort of style now, where people just know about it.
Yeah.
So it's really nice that people pick up on that, and like tradies that we've had coming in doing the fit-in, and people that we've, like family members or friends, and I meet someone like, oh yeah, my boyfriend plays Warhammer, I'll attempt to come down to your shop and that. It's just great. Like I said, the community focus is the main thing for us, where we connect people. Like we've got a Discord server with like 1,000 people in it, and pick up games, and we've got card games, board games, and as many different systems as we can support, because...
Well, I would say there, like, you've not just Warhammer. Like, I think you've got Star Wars Shatterpoint going. You've got obviously got Kill Team. You've got Heresy. You've got Bushido.
You've got Bushido Infinity.
Infinity was still going.
BattleTech's going off. We've got Star Wars Unlimited. We've got card games. We've got a board game library, and
it's great because like you want like so. I think what's really good at what you've done is, if I wanted to play like Infinity or something, like, you think, well, where I am, like, well, who else is playing Infinity? I don't know anyone else. Whereas here, well, there's loads of people playing it. So you think, oh, actually, no, I can start a new gaming system, and I can come here and know someone, even if it's someone who knows someone, will go, oh yeah, no, I know someone who plays that. They'll come down and meet you.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that we really like about our community is whether it's ex-staff members, ex-GW staff members, or just community players. Like I can look from here and see, I can see Nix and Declan and Adam and people like that who are like our community leads. So we have like a scheme called Outriders.
Oh yeah.
Where our people, we have a community member who takes the lead on a system for us, because we're quite a small team considering how large the building is now. So that'll be interesting going forwards.
Yeah.
But we have a dedicated person who volunteers their time, and they sort of lead the community in a certain aspect. So if we don't have enough in-depth expertise, we know who does.
Yeah.
So we've got people who go, oh, you want to learn Infinity? Yeah, you talk to Gaz, and then Gaz goes and runs away and does this like amazing demos of the awesome boards, and it just helps us grow the community and connect everybody. Like everyone in here will know somebody else from somewhere else, and even if you're just meeting your mate to play Kill Team, your mate will know somebody, or you'll see someone that even works in your office building that you know, and you're like, oh, I didn't know you played Kill Team. It's like, yeah, well, this, that, the other, you should try this, and then it just runs away with itself.
Brilliant.
And you just lose hours and hours of your life having awesome fun.
Well, speaking of your staff, they do like they have been like non-stop today, and right, so like so you've got like 60, 70 people here, which is it's just fantastic. So I suppose like so 2025, what does that look like for the Outpost?
Oof, yeah, it's a really good question. So my plans for 2025 completely went out the window about 2.5 months ago when Chris walked in and was like, we're buying this new building, we're moving over there and scrap everything and redraw it. So our plans for this year are to carry on fitting out and expanding the space. So increasing the number of toilets we've got. We're looking to get an on-site food vendor in, get an alcohol license for those people who do like to have a drink while they're playing. Maybe grow the table some more and really focus on our event side of things and organised play. So I run a lot of events myself, so I really spearhead like Heresy events, and that's my passion. But we've got Hellstone Wargaming, who's just rented an office upstairs.
Wow. So
he's moving all his 40k events to be run here. We've got loads of other event organisers that have been reaching out and going, how many tables have you got, can I host some space? And we just want people to come in. Like if we run an event organisers get charged £5 per player.
Wow.
We like to keep it competitive and quite cheap, because we know there's a lot of options to go to. We want to make it as affordable as possible and not create any barriers. And then our gaming space is free to use.
Brilliant.
I've never believed in charging for tables, because like people can come in, and if it was £3 for a table, they can get a coffee for that £3 now.
Yeah, of course.
And getting something out of it, and I'd much rather that was the way we operate. So we don't charge for tables. Event space is cheap to rent, and we just want people to enjoy the hobby, because we're all hobbyists. We're a company of hobbyists, and we run our stuff for people that are like that.
Well, you just like I said later, like you're building a wargaming community, and it just shows, and people always vote with their feet, and it's evident today that people like what you do.
Yeah,
it's packed. So yeah, I mean, 2025 events. More events, gaming spaces, food venues. It's growing and growing and growing. Maybe your own little Bugman's bar type thing, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna get a name for it. But yeah, it's always just been the bar. But we'll have to get some sort of catchy name for it. But yeah, I do just want to say, I know probably not a lot of them will see it, but a massive shout out goes to all the team, because I know I get a lot of coverage as the face of it, and the store manager, everyone goes, oh yeah, you do a really good job, but I couldn't do the job I do. Yeah. We couldn't do what we do without all the people that we've got in the business. So we've got an incredible store team, we've got a guy who operates second-hand stuff for us, we've got a warehouse team that are phenomenal, we've got admin staff, purchasing people, everybody who plays a part, the customer service team, everyone does their job to such an amazing level and sacrifices so much on a personal level a lot of the time, just to enable us to have such a good and well turned out sort of store, basically. and we owe a lot to everyone that works here and everyone else who puts the time in, like the Outriders and things like that.
Yeah.
So just really grateful for the awesome team we've got, and then people like yourself who come and give us good coverage and just put the word out, and for free. Like, you've not asked for anything to come down and be here, you've just come down to check the place out, but it's more exposure and it's spreading the word. And I really think that hobby stores in general, we're such an immensely integral part of the hobby, having somewhere to hobby.
Huge.
And I just want to see as much sort of camaraderie and you know, coalition between independent gaming stores.
Absolutely.
Like, if I say I'm running out of something, or I've got an emergency thing I need, I've got 4 or 5 store owners I can give a buzz to, and they'll go, yeah, I'll sort it out, just pop over and grab it. And we do that for other people, and I really want to reinforce that we're all on the same page and we're all trying to provide the same service. So let's just work on it together and make the hobby as good as it can be, really. And
this is it. And I suppose like the final point is, and I suppose like the whole thing of what we're doing is I remember when I was like, you know, younger, you could just go into Games Workshop and, you know, you could chill out, you could paint your models, you could play, and it really feels like you don't feel like you can do that anymore. Like, the community isn't in there. When I think the rise of like places like the Outpost, they're on the rise, because I think a lot of people in the same breath going like, I want that feeling of being able to come into my local game store, meet new people, you know, from all different backgrounds, play, paint, game, buy some stuff, you know. And by the way, this is a very, very well stocked store here, by the way, as well. I will say that, very well stocked.
That's fun to manage that round.
I bet.
Boxes of stuff. These aren't here. We've ignored these for like 6 months just to get it all ready.
This is it. But you've got like I said, you've got the best of both worlds here. You can come in. At no point have I felt any pressure to have to buy anything. You've just made every single person feel welcome. Like I say, there's things to do, things to see, people to meet, games to play, store to buy stuff in. I think you've nailed it here. Absolutely. And the community you've built here is just, and I think Games Workshop have a lot to not answer for, but you need to be worried that people want a community spirit, and I think here at the Outpost you've done that.
Yeah, I think I'm careful what I have to say.
No, of course,
but,
absolutely.
I do think that there has always been a gap for more space. I know the way GW operate is they have smaller stores, they've got to keep their square footage down. Rent's extortion. Like, we've looked at several venues before we ended up here, and the rent is so ridiculous. Like, and especially if they've got hundreds of outlets, it's going to cost them a fortune just to man them. But I don't think they feel the need they have to do that anymore, because there is such a network of independent stores that handle that for them. I know I went to myself and I've a few friends that have been to sort of the events at Warhammer World and stuff, and they've come on in leaps and bounds recently in you know, learning from what we've been doing and getting hobby focused people leading their event teams and stuff. So I think that we provide a service for them as much as they provide a service for us by producing great miniatures and great products, and we can provide in return a great spaces for people to enjoy that. And I think that without one there isn't the other, and I think there's a nice sort of just a nice relationship there between the two, and I think without one you can't have the other, and we prop each other up a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they do a good job of what they do. They put some fantastic miniatures out, and
they do. And they're so annoyed. Something
heresy in plastic at the minute is just. I am very much all over that.
Don't. I've become very, very close to nearly. It's not even worth talking about. Anyway, Dan, I think thank you. Firstly, thank you so much for your time and putting us on today. And as I said before, check out the Outpost. We'll put links in the description below. But Dan, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for putting us on. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Well, that concludes today's episode of Heresy is My Therapy, and my sort of quest for the hobby hangouts, the awesome hobby hangouts across the UK. The Outpost, as I mentioned so many times in this video, is everything you would want your sort of like gaming store to be. Loads of space, loads of tables, painting opportunities, loads of gaming systems, a really well stocked shop. It's just brilliant, and I can't stress enough how much you need to come down, or come down wherever you are, to Sheffield, to the Outpost, and check it out. Come for the day. Believe you in me, you can spend the day here, and I pretty much have done. The painting competition, well, I'll tell you what, talk about self-induced pressure. It's pretty wild, but we managed to get that Space Wolf done in the end. But wow, yeah, that time bar really, really comes out, and I'm glad I've kind of been using the contrast slap chop method to get that done. Also want to thank Dan for his time today and just kind of going through what this is, what it's all about, the community, what they've built with the Outpost, and what hoping they're going to achieve moving forward. But overall, a really great day, and I cannot recommend enough. If you want a bit more information about the Outpost, there is a link in the description below for all of your sort of like hobby needs and to find out more about the Outpost as well. But hopefully this has kind of showcased another awesome hobby hangout space, and just kind of answering the question at Games Workshop. This is what the community wants. We don't want to come into the store and be like, ugh, can't stay in here, gotta buy something and have to leave. This is what it's all about. This is what the community is about. This is what it's built on. Yeah, and I can't wait to find even more places just like this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give us a like, give us a subscribe. It always helps the channel grow. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.